The Holodomor, or the Ukrainian famine genocide, was a catastrophic man-made famine that occurred in Soviet Ukraine from 1932 to 1933. It is estimated that between 2.4 and 7.5 million Ukrainians perished as a result of the famine, with the most widely accepted estimates putting the number at around 3.9 million. The Holodomor was caused by a combination of factors, including the collectivization of agriculture, which was implemented by the Soviet government under Joseph Stalin in the early 1930s. Collectivization involved forcing individual farmers to give up their land and livestock and join state-controlled collective farms. This was accompanied by a campaign of violence and repression against those who resisted or refused to cooperate, including the confiscation of their grain and other foodstuffs. The Soviet government also imposed quotas on grain production, which were often set unrealistically high and enforced through a system of harsh penalties and fines. As a result, many farmers were unable to meet the quotas and were punished severely, including being stripped of their land, livestock, and other possessions. At the same time, the Soviet government was exporting large quantities of grain to other countries in an effort to finance industrialization and modernization programs. This meant that there was little food left for the Ukrainian people, who were already suffering from a shortage of food due to the collectivization and quota systems. The situation was exacerbated by a series of natural disasters, including a drought in 1932, which led to crop failures and further reduced the amount of food available to the Ukrainian people. Despite the severity of the famine, the Soviet government refused to acknowledge its existence and instead blamed it on the weather and the alleged sabotage of the kulaks, or wealthy farmers. This allowed the Soviet government to continue its policies of collectivization and grain exports, even as millions of Ukrainians were dying of starvation. The Holodomor had a profound impact on Ukrainian society and culture, and is widely regarded as a genocide against the Ukrainian people. The term Holodomor was coined in the 1980s and was officially recognized as a genocide by Ukraine in 2006 and by several other countries, including Canada, Australia, and the United States. The Holodomor also had a lasting impact on the Ukrainian diaspora, many of whom emigrated from Ukraine during the famine or its aftermath. The memory of the Holodomor remains a powerful symbol of Ukrainian identity and resilience, and has inspired numerous works of art and literature. Despite the passage of time, the causes and legacy of the Holodomor remain subjects of debate and controversy. Some scholars argue that the famine was a deliberate act of genocide by the Soviet government, while others maintain that it was a result of misguided policies and natural disasters. Regardless of the cause, the Holodomor remains a tragic chapter in Ukrainian history and a reminder of the dangers of unchecked government power and authoritarianism.